Hi, everyone. It's Wednesday already. Can you believe it? Week is going fast. But we're covering such good verses. And the ones for today, first rate. But I want to invite, especially all the men, to get on your calendar tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. We start our monthly men's breakfast. Going to be really good this month again. Uh, Great eggs Benedict breakfast. All if you don't like that, scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, potatoes, fruit, usually. Hey, come on out. 19 restaurant meeting rooms by donation or what you can afford to give. That's what we want you to give. And so that'll take care of it. Nothing is okay. Hey, Phil Tilden, who we all love Phil, and he's going to share things that have been going on in his life, including if you haven't heard this story, you need to. He recently got run over by a truck while in his wheelchair, and he came out of it. And I mean, he was dragged 30 feet. Not a scratch. But I don't let him tell you he has other things happening in his life. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. I surely hope you can join us, men. Okay, the verses we're nearing the end of James. James 5, starting at verse 10 today. Yesterday we talked about how soon it is. Remember that song yesterday? Soon and very soon. We're going to see the King. He's coming back. But and we're to be ready. But James is using that to just urge us to show patience that when things are tough in life, then we have so much to look forward to and just the promises of God that He's going to see us through whatever we're going through. Let me read the verses and then we'll talk about it, okay? Why don't we do that? James 5, verse 10. Brothers and sisters, as an example of patience in the face of suffering, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord. As you know, we count as blessed those who persevered. You have heard of Job's perseverance and have seen what the Lord finally brought about. The Lord is so full of compassion and mercy. Hey, let's start with this. Have you ever, or can you remember a time? You probably can. I know I can. Think of times where you didn't know how you would get through it. And it was tough. And then you did get through it. And not only did you get through it, but the Lord blessed you afterwards and it taught you lessons along the way. Maybe it was used to bless someone else either then or later. Oh man, I know that some of the hardest times in our life, Diane's life, my married life, we came out of it on the other side, and the lessons that we learned, man, I wouldn't trade them. In fact, one of the things I often say is that the 3 years I was in seminary, which was in my early 20s, I learned more about depending on the Lord and the Lord's provision and miracle after miracle provision than anything I learned in the classroom. My trust in Him and learned dependence when just food would show up on our door or somebody would just give us money out of the blue. My whole tuition was miraculously, in my mind, paid for. And not by the school, not by what do you call them? Uh, Scholarships. No, just the Lord provided through people. My faith grew by leaps and bounds. And that is what, as you notice, James talks about. He says he encourages us to look at two things, doesn't he? As examples that he wants to point out. One is he says, look at the prophets. He's referring to the Old Testament prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord. And if you've read the Old Testament prophets at all, maybe that's something we've studied them several times here on the inspiration for today, but maybe we need to do that one more time. Almost every one of them had it very rough, and they were persecuted and not believed by the Israelites. And that's partly because they were telling it like it was. And they were representing the Lord. And what was he saying? He was saying, turn from your sin, well, and eventually they went into captivity, did they not, the Israelites? And they were in Babylon for a while and came back. But all along the way, the prophets were representing God to the people, and they didn't like to hear that they were not obeying the Lord. And so the prophets were often persecuted. Hey, then he brings up Job. Do you remember Job's story? Man, if you haven't read the book of Job, I encourage you to do so. It's a long book, but you actually can pretty much read the first two chapters and then kind of glance through, and then the last chapter or so, you'll get the real gist of it. But the gist of it is Job was a very wealthy man, prosperous, and God took away everything. That's one of the phrases in English, the patience of Job. I'm sure you've heard that. Well, Job suffered, suffered, suffered. His 10 kids were taken, killed, died. Uh, his health, his business, everything. But eventually, waiting on the Lord, praying, thinking, eventually, and Job stayed faithful, everything was restored and more so. Did you notice that last sentence in verse 11? It says, and here's what I want you to cling on this thought at least. The Lord is full of compassion and mercy. The Lord is full of compassion and that's just how the Lord is. You say, well, he's not seeing me. He's not answering my prayer right now. Well, he's going to see you through it if it's current. The Lord is full of compassion and mercy. And of course, all the ultimate healing and the patience we have to show is either Jesus is coming back for us and we'll reign with him here, or if we go to heaven first, that's the ultimate healing that's awaiting you and I. And I wanted to hit verse 12 because we have other verses for the next couple days. He says, above all, my brothers and sisters, do not swear, not by heaven or earth or by anything else. All you need to say is a simple yes or no. Otherwise, you will be condemned. It feels kind of like a sudden left turn, doesn't it, from what we were talking? But basically, while we wait on God, our character, our simple honesty, that's what's being formed in us. And so, people who trust in God, as people that trust in God, we don't need to dress up our words with oaths or exaggerations or swearing. Basically saying, while you're waiting patiently, you just let your yes be yes, your no be no, and what we say is trustworthy. Wow. Your word is enough when you're walking closely with the Lord. People see it. You don't need to do those superlatives. Make your yes be yes. Ah, couple great lessons for us today, weren't they? We have some great stuff for tomorrow. I sure hope you don't miss it. Hey, see you then. Bye bye.